everyone. Um, First off, let's say this is a disclaimer. Let's take into consideration I do not have my eyebrows done. And oh yeah, I forgot to put on primer. But I was running to the bodega, and at this point I'm taking any opportunity to practice my 2022 makeup routine, being as though I have not been out the house in a while. Um, in this video, you'll notice the camera is picking up the makeup a little bit lighter than my skin, but in person it didn't look like that. And that's the reasoning for me practicing this look, because you know that sometimes when you go out, you may get, a flashback when you take a picture, and sometimes it can make your makeup look white. So I am practicing my routine to avoid those. I have a video with a list of the products that I'm using. So right here you see I'm still trying to master my routine of concealing my bags. So yeah. I think I did a pretty good job. As I said, I'm just trying to perfect the brightness and like the contouring, I'm guessing you can call it. I'm just trying to perfect my contouring, because I know that like certain parts of your face are supposed to be bright, but then certain parts are supposed to be the darker parts. But I do believe I need a darker bronzer. I do use the black opal to help with my contouring, but the bronzer that I use, the black opal is a cream, and the bronzer that I use is a powder. So I think I need a darker powder. I think I need a darker bronzer powder, just a little tad bit darker. Because everything else that I use is so bright, because I'm going for that like bright under eye look. But I realized like at the end of the makeup routine, if you have like a darker bronzer to help buff everything in, I just feel as though it would be so much more of a seamless look. But as I said, the camera is not really picking it up. It's like showing off like to have a white cast, but it's really not that bright. I mean it's bright, but it's actually blending into my skin. But I think like a darker bronzer would help with that, and I also need a darker face powder. So, but even if I had the darker bronzer, I wouldn't need the darker face powder, or vice versa. So. The nose, I'm trying to really perfect that, because I like how the chiseled nose contour looks. So, but everyone's nose is different as well. So I'm just trying to perfect mine. That and my under eyes. I told you about this black opal. It's like the holy grail at the moment, and I told you that it's a good amount left, so I'm using it till it's done. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But you see how smooth that runs on? It's been saving my makeup routine, because everything is just it's not like too much lighter, but it's just you need that darkness to kind of buff everything together, as like to chisel out, you see, like your jawline and things like that. And the black opal has been the MVP. And this was just a quick beat, as I told you. Remember, I do not have my eyebrows done. And I forgot to put on primer before I started my makeup, but I just continued without it. I don't know if you could put like mix primer into your foundation. I didn't want to think, because I actually had to go this day, so I said let me see if I do it with primer, without the primer, how it would come out. And it actually still came out smooth. I'm guessing primer is to help it last longer, like to help it to melt into your skin. But it was a quick run, so it didn't even need such a beat face. But as I told you, I'm just taking every opportunity to practice. I did a little baking. I think my don't my under eyes look a little less baggy? I think so. And you have to remember that this camera is trash, so some things that it picks up on this camera when you're like in person, you do not see. See, that's the bronzer that I'm using there. See, it gives you a little bit of a bronzy effect, if you see what I'm saying there. You see? You can actually see the bronzer, but you see how the rest of my face looks so bright? But as I said, it's like really the camera, but I just feel like if the bronzer was just maybe a tad bit darker because of everything being so bright, to kind of like, you know, because bronzer is used on a lot of the face. So if it's a little bit darker, it'll help it. Because don't you see when I'm putting it on right now, you can actually see the bronzer going onto my face, which it looks good to me here. But I'm just thinking like maybe like one shade darker. Because like as the night goes on, if the makeup, you know, rubs off, or at least if it's a little bit darker, it'll still be there. Adding a little to my nose. I have to do a routine where I don't have anywhere to go, so that I can like, and I'm gonna get my eyebrows done and everything, so that or even if I have somewhere to go, I'm gonna probably like, if I'm gonna record it, start do it like hours before I have to leave, so that I can do like a complete blending and everything. But I also want to be able to not have to do such a beat face as well. So that's why I'm kind of like practicing, and like doing it like this is not a problem, because on a daily basis, I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole beat face, but maybe I will. This is my lip combo. Both things that I'm using are lip glosses, but this first one that I'm putting on here is a little bit more pigmented. And then the other one is the Handy Dandy Beauty Supply lip gloss, just for that extra shine and pop. And of course I lined my lips to like define the shape. So that's the Beauty Supply Store lip gloss. It gave a nice little shine. Sometimes you don't want that shine, so it without the lip gloss was cool. But you know, that lip gloss just gives you Then I'm adding my freckles. I actually have like natural moles, but the makeup covers it up. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I should mark them so that I can just reapply them. But I just do my own thing. And then I'm covering this pimple